Indiana throttles Oregon 56-22. Kurt Cignetti's team continues to execute all three phases: offense, defense, special teams. They click every which way. Now, we've done 3 videos on this team on this channel, but it's hard not to when they look this good. And in the film room, there's just so many things that you see that they execute so well. The attention to detail on this team is extremely good. It speaks a lot when they don't turn the ball over much. Mendoza has more touchdowns than incompletions so far in the college football playoffs, and they've just rolled through teams. As for Oregon, 3 turnovers is never a good recipe. Obviously, the very first play of the game didn't set the tone right. But without talking any further, let's go ahead, let's get into the film, and let's see how Indiana just dismembered Oregon. There we go, friends. First play of the game. If you watched it, obviously you know what happens. Dante Moore, pick 6, telegraphs this pass. Not the best read. Of course, his eyes take us right there, but more than anything, great play out of D'Angelo Pons here, number 5. Now, a little bit undersized, 5'9", but in my opinion, one of the better corners in the country this year because of his football IQ. So, what we're going to get, cover 2, simple look. The biggest thing that Dante Moore is going to think is, hey, I like my splits here. If he drops back, if we can drive this route and drop D'Angelo Pons back into that zone, okay, we're going to try to drop into that hook to flat. I'm going to have an out route right here that I can get this ball to. And usually 9 times out of 10, this is a pass that there isn't necessarily a hesitation to this read. It's as soon as you see it, get it out, let it go. So again, we're going to try and drive Pons back. All right, we're eventually going to drop into this. There is absolutely a window here. Now, we're looking at this immediately. And as soon as we see Pons start to drop back, we think, hey, let's get this easy completion, right? 5-yard out. This thing is easy. We're going to make this turn. But the problem here, like I've mentioned, D'Angelo Pons knows where to look. He's going to look at the quarterback. He's not looking at the receiver, right? He hasn't even turned his hips. As you can see, we're facing this route. We haven't gotten into a back pedal. We haven't shifted. We haven't done anything. Obviously, we're trying to get there. We're not the problem. So we're out of the picture. But really what's going to happen here is as soon as we make this turn, it's not a bad route. The problem is Dante Moore's eyes. We never look this thing off. We telegraph it, and we go right at who, in my opinion, like I had just mentioned, is one of the best corners in the country. Not sure if this was a statement call or what the decision was here. And again, we're in the middle of the hashes, right? So it's not necessarily an across-the-field throw, but it's not an easy throw either when you have a receiver jumping the route. Again, D'Angelo Pons, he's going to jump this thing. Ball's not quite placed where it should be. This thing should be a little bit more towards the sideline. And even then, either way, it's a great job out of D'Angelo Pons. We pick this thing off. We take it to the house. What better way to start the game for Indiana, right? Up 7-0, pick 6. Defense gets the job done, and your 95% Indiana crowd here in Atlanta is loving it. Very next play, 3rd and 4 for Indiana. We get man-to-man coverage on the outside. The problem when you do this is you have a quarterback this good and a receiver this good in Surratt that are going to kill you. Safety tries to get over. We're a little bit late. It's a first down, right? A lot of teams are falling into the trap. Something Indiana loves to do on 3rd down is when they get these man press looks, they're going to take a deep shot. That's obviously not quite in the analytics books to do, but they love to do it. When they see something like man coverage with only a single high deep, they're going to take their shots, whether it's a back shoulder throw, whether it's some kind of post. When you have as many weapons as this team does, it makes sense, especially when you think about how well they run the ball, how well their offensive line has played. Oregon's loading the box. They're not wanting to dive from the run. On a 3rd and 4, they're thinking, hey, Mendoza's legs, maybe Hemby's legs could hurt us. Instead, we get a beautiful back shoulder fade to Elijah Surratt. Right off the bat, we get a little bit of push, some good contact within 5 yards. Safety's obviously trying to get there. Mendoza's giving him a little peek. He sees him, but he knows, hey, I can put this thing back shoulder. I got the corners. His hips are turned. He's facing the opposite direction of me. He's running neck and neck with Elijah Surratt. All I have to do is put this thing in the right spot. Surratt makes a great adjustment, waits to come back to the ball last second, and a first down. Again, not a very predictable 3rd down call, especially not when you're in 3rd and 4. And that's what I think throws a lot of teams off, is they feel that they can comfortably play man-to-man coverage in this down and distance and maybe try to get some pressure or load the box and stop the run. And instead, Indiana takes advantage of that every single time. 2nd and goal from the 9. Not an easy spot to get into the end zone, especially not through the air. The field condenses. Not a problem for Indiana. They, of course, find a way to get this thing in. Mendoza puts the ball right where it needs to be. What is Oregon doing yet again, friends? It is man-to-man coverage. I've hit on this in my last film review when we looked at Indiana against Alabama and in the red zone, right? Inside the 20-yard line, it beat Alabama how many times playing this man-to-man coverage against Indiana. And again, they do it now with Oregon. And Indiana's going to beat it every single time. They are too talented. Mendoza's way too smart of a quarterback. They've had plenty of space and opportunities to make these plays when you give a man no deep safety, and all we're going to get is a simple China concept. So what that means is Surratt's going to come, he's going to run a 5-yard, really just an in, and we're going to get a nice little corner route right to the pylon. It's hard to play against. Now, this isn't necessarily a rub. Like the spacing on this one, these receivers you're going to see here, and I'll play it for you just a little bit, they're not even going to rub, right? This is just a China concept. And man-to-man, again, when we have this much separation, nearly a whole yard to a yard and a half, when it's an anticipation throw and we're giving up the outside, which is understandable, right? That's the short side of the field. We're on this hash. So, you got to live and die with what you choose to do. And Oregon dies by this choice. And Mendoza, again, perfect timing, perfect read, great route. As soon as his head's turned, that ball is right on the fingertips, just after the pylon into the end zone. Another touchdown, beautiful execution. Not sure when teams are going to learn to figure out how to not have to play man-to-man in the red zone against the Hoosiers, because they have torn it apart 2 games in a row now. All right, friends, this next play here, before I play this, I want to preface, this is going to be Oregon. I know I've only showed Indiana thus far, and quite honestly, not only does the scoreboard tell you it was really only worth watching Indiana in this football game, but clearly my video up to this point. However, Oregon had opportunities, right? It's 21-7, still 6 minutes in the first half. We're near midfield, I believe, the 42, 43 yard line, or 46? Like 46, 47 yard line. So an absolute chance to at least get this thing maybe into field goal range or do something on this drive. We need points, right? We gotta stop the bleeding a little bit, and we just completely miss a wide open opportunity here for one reason. And this has been a critique I've had of Dante Moore for a little bit. So right off the bat, when we see this motion, Indiana doesn't actually follow the motion. So let me just rewind this a little bit since I was still talking. Indiana does not follow this motion, okay? Instead, what they do is shift everyone down. What that then creates is a man. First off, it's going to be man coverage. Okay, we're manned up here. We have a single high safety. They don't transition into anything. We're going to see the linebackers drop once they see that this is a pass. But the biggest thing I want you to note is there is another receiver right out here. Okay, when he motions, this is our receiver, and I'm not. There's no one lined up over here. I'm saying this motion is going to create another one, right? And what that's going to do is keep that corner down. And nobody, the safety included, does not shade over to take number 4 away. Okay, so I'm going to play this for you a little bit. I want you to watch this line that my arrow's on and look how open this seam shot could have been for Dante Moore and for Oregon. All right, so again, we're going to get 18. I believe that might be Sadiq motioning out. So we now have another body that corner is tied to in man-to-man coverage. 48 is eyes in the backfield. Okay, he doesn't even know. Of course, he's still thinking at this point, either this is my responsibility, or, he has a deep third, or it's man-to-man, right? He's got the guy that was lined up on the line. Already, guys, this ball should be out. I mean, already, this is a touchdown. I can't even express to you enough how big this play could have been. I mean, look at this. Look at this. You don't even have to put this thing on a rope. You don't have to do anything. The smartest throw here is just to float this thing to the numbers. Just give him a chance, take him away from this safety who's not even going to make this play, and you have 6. But again, the biggest problem with this, I'm going to play it just a little bit more, all right? Even here, right? We are still wide open. Now that safety's starting to see it, okay? Now he knows, he can sense it, but again, if we put this thing towards the numbers, he's not getting there. That's 6 points. Now, where does this go wrong? Why doesn't Oregon see this? It's not so much the pressure. I think the offensive line is at least hanging in there. And this is a throw. I mean, my goodness, look how open he is, right? We don't need any time at all to make this throw. But Dante Moore has a real struggle with being a first read and only read quarterback thus far. What do I mean by that? What I'm telling you is when this play was created or when they did install, his number 1 read, his hot read is number 9. That's his key, okay? And he never takes his eyes off of this. From the moment he catches the snap, if not before the ball is even to his hands, he's looking and telegraphing this pass. He wants to throw this ball to number 9. He doesn't look it off. He doesn't give any, he doesn't progress through his reads. He is only focused on getting this ball to number 9. Okay, so again, I'm going to continue to slowly play it. We're still looking at 9. We're still looking at 9. 9's kind of trying to hit a little shimmy here. If he would have just already cut, Dante Moore could have got this thing out. Maybe we still have a big play. Meanwhile, over here, 4 is still wide open, right? Safety's just kind of lagging behind. This is a touchdown ball if we just turn our head. But again, it's hard to see. Look, eyes are right here on 9 this entire time, only looking there. still looking there. Now we finally turn, but then here's the problem. We're running this route right into the safety. Okay, safety's finally going to adapt to where his eyes have been the whole time. And then what do? We do the opposite. Instead of staying upfield, right, we just run what's on the paper. We just run right into the safety. So that takes that throw away. Obviously, again, you can see the bit of hesitation in Dante Moore here. And then all of this being said creates what's a sack. There's nowhere to throw the ball. Nobody's open. We telegraphed one pass and one pass only. And again, man, Indiana is beatable. There are kinks in the armor. This was obviously a blown, busted coverage, lack of communication with that motion, but Oregon can't take advantage of it. So curious to see what Miami does in the film room. If they get opportunities like that, can they take advantage of them? Next play, friends, coverage, sack. Right here. It's a great play out of this defensive line, but we're holding the ball too long. We get clobbered, another fumble. It's going from bad to worse quick in this football game for the Ducks. Indiana, man-to-man. Not a team that plays a lot of man-to-man. We see a lot of cover two, a Tampa 2 iteration out of that cover two from Indiana. They like to throw a lot of simulated pressure at teams. We looked at that in our film review last week. But this week, there was a good bit of man-to-man coverage, right? We're only sending 4. It's a 4-3 look. Oregon, of course, empty backfield, 2nd and 6. At this rate, man, it's a pseudo 2-minute drill until the clock ticks 0, right? We've got to start getting points at it, and they come at a premium in this football game if you're Oregon, of course. But really, guys, not too much to diagnose here, other than the fact that none of these routes are open, right? It's man-to-man, but we're going to drop into these zones. This is our linebackers diagnose pass, right? We drop into this, we take it away. We're going to sit and take anything away. Now, this looks like a zone, but here's why it's not a zone. It's really a cover one. Is we're going to drop back into that deep half of the field. There is a receiver over here that had nobody over him. All right? Nobody. If we turn our head, we can at least get a quick completion, right? We're trying to get all the way around here to make this play. So if you missed it, let me first count for you, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There is no corner out here. And there is an Oregon Duck out there, right? Because we think about Oregon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bingo. 11 is wide open. There's nobody on him. And Dante Moore, yet again, man, we telegraphed this pass. We only look one direction. We want to find that first window that we can find. I understand maybe this is our last read. I get it. But still, there is at least enough time at this point to turn and make something happen. We're still trying to get the ball out here. We're not at the sticks. We have a little bit of separation, but there's really nowhere to go with this thing at this point. And what ends up happening, of course, we get absolutely blasted in the backfield. Ball comes out. Indiana recovers. Yet again, man, coverage sack on this one, in my opinion, but still, kinks in the armor. Another coverage where Oregon could have taken advantage of a quick pass and at least gotten 10 to 15 yards before that safety was able to get over, and yet he still cannot see it. Stuck on that first read that was killing the Ducks. Great play out of Indiana here. Before I click play on this, I want you to just take a wild guess what coverage the Ducks are in, okay? Just take a guess. Just look at what we have here across the board, and I want you to take one singular guess what you think Oregon's going to try to do. Look at the part of the field that we're in again for Indiana, and let's play it now, okay? I want you to watch number 7, man-to-man. This is man-to-man. Look at Mendoza, right? This is what we're watching, okay? We're going to get a little bit of an out and back in and up, all right? We're going to get a beautiful shimmy, creates more than separation. I mean, we take a jockstrap here, and the beauty of this play, right, and more so the throw, because the X's and O's behind this aren't anything spectacular. This is what happens when you try to play man-to-man coverage and you just flat out get beat. The beauty of this is Mendoza waits. Okay, now we're going to get our out. We see this hard break. As soon as Mendoza sees this break, he knows this thing is 6, right? He knows what's coming next in the route tree, and that is we're going to cut this thing back and up. Mendoza, anticipation throw. This thing is gorgeous. Now the camera angle is going to flip, but again, we're going to see it here. Okay, I want you to move your eyes right down here. We're going to bite hard on this, and as soon as that comes, right, we do have a single high safety, still cover one man-to-man, right? He's over help on this side since we have trips. So now, hey, we'll take our one-on-one. We'll beat you. Mendoza's eyes, take a peek. Oh, if I can click the right button here, take a peek. He's looking at it. He sees already the bite. He sees what he wants, okay? As soon as we cut this thing up, look at this. Again, already in the throwing motion. Already. Arms cocked. Ball's loaded. It's time to get this thing into the end zone. It's too easy, you guys. It is way too easy when you give the man-to-man coverage. Now the third touchdown this game. I think, 5 or 6 touchdowns in the last 2 games that Indiana has taken advantage of man-to-man coverage inside the red zone. So I'm hoping teams learn this lesson, and Indiana is going to continue to reap the benefits of teams that don't. Last play I'm going to show, friends, and then we're going to wrap this thing up. I just want to pretty much, I guess, highlight Indiana's physicality in the trenches. This is a team with 7 4- and 5-star recruits in total. The rest of this team is 3 stars, 2 stars, walk-ons, whatever the case is. Oregon, on the other hand, I think at least 30 or 40 plus. I don't know the exact number, but Indiana's physicality, right? We talk about how well coached they are, how disciplined they are, but man, these guys are physical too, right? They hang in the trenches. I mean, this is just, to me, an interesting play call, very interesting play call. But more than anything, I want you guys to just take a look at this penetration. So what Oregon's going to do is we're going to get a little bit of like a misdirection, quick pitch to the outside here. So 83, right? Our fullback down in a 3-point stance. He's going to give us kind of like a power fake to this side, and then we're going to immediately fling this thing to the outside. But here's my problem on 4th and 1 with this play call. First thing I'll say I like is that at least if we're going to do this, let's get it to the wide side. Way too often we see this same play to the short side. Let's give ourselves a chance to utilize that Oregon Duck speed. And if we can't power this thing, right, if we can't create some kind of a tunnel or a gap over here, let's at least let our speed leverage to the outside and get something out of this. But instead, we're really not going to get much of anything, you guys, okay? So I want you to look. Like I said, we're going to kind of fake to this side. The whole offensive line is going to shift, right? The whole line is going to shift this way. But what we're going to do is try to crack this. We're going to pull our guard around. 75 is going to pull. Problem, yet again, that I'm already seeing. Look at this penetration, right? We have nobody blocking here, okay? Let me play this a little bit more and watch what 75 ends up doing, okay? He runs past this block. Now, again, this doesn't really destroy the play. I mean, we're already out here. We can absolutely outrun that. 75 is, just trying to get to the next level. But as soon as we look at this, we're already outnumbered. I mean, look at this pursuit from Indiana. Boom, boom. We're flying to this football. The biggest, I guess, anchor on this play is what we do here. And 18, Sadiq, just doesn't do a good job on this block, nor does 75. We get out here, we anchor this thing, we slow it down, right? We don't give him the sideline. We don't let him take this wide angle and outrun us to the sideline. And the pursuit is all there. I mean, the Indiana defense, of course, conveniently, because it seems like they're always in the right spot at the right time, shifts this way too. They had a shift down to what would be their right side to the strong side of the field as well on the snap of the ball. So already everybody is moving this direction. Of course, that's where the play is going. Like I was mentioning earlier, the biggest thing I don't like about this play call is because by the time we catch this ball, right, it's a 4th and 1. We need 1 yard. We need to get right here. We've already allowed ourselves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're now 6 yards behind the line, at least the first down marker, 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, okay? 5 whole yards backwards from where we need to go. Now, I understand that Indiana's dominated every facet of this game, and especially down here in the trenches with the big uglies, but I mean, man, let's let it hang, man. Let's power this thing. Like, let's do something other than this. I mean, this is even more embarrassing. We don't even end up getting yards. Like 75 completely watch with, okay? 18 sets the edge. There's no way we're getting all the way around here. I would have liked us to probably try. I think that would have been our best option since 14's obviously kind of caught in the traffic. And Indiana just flies through every single ounce of contact on this play. And look at this. I mean, 3 guys. 3 guys. We got a duck on the ground, missed block. We're just kind of running around. We're obviously leaned over. Another missed block. We're looking back. It's not good, friends. It's not good. Again, at this point, it's 42-15, nearly the 4th quarter. Probably not going to make much of an impact. We've seen miracles before, but this type of football wasn't going to create one. And again, credit to Indiana's defense in the right spot. Everyone pursuing to the football, anchoring the edge, not getting beat by the disciplined fundamentals, instead beating teams by those. Just such an impressive thing to watch out of the Hoosiers. Friends, that's all I got for this video. I really appreciate every one of you tuning in and dealing with me battling this sun that's coming through the blinds. I swear they're closed. I got the light on, but of course it's that time of day where it's wanting to shine right through at me. But appreciate you guys for tuning in. Really means more to me than you know. Again, congrats to Indiana. Excited to see what they can do against Miami. And if you guys like the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm going to have another film review coming on the Miami Ole Miss game as well. So if you're ready for that, if you're tired of Indiana film reviews, I more than likely have one more for you in the Natty, but I can definitely promise you I'll get you some Miami Ole Miss film review coming, and we'll preview that championship game. So thank you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next video.